Not Topical back. Episode 6. I'm Strange Wang. He's Nate. And Nate.
6.
Just dropped an album. And guess what? I didn't even know Drake. So, like, Drake, he dropped 3 albums this year, right? And it's a trilogy, they're saying.
Huh.
Because the first one's Certified Lover Boy. The second one is Honestly Nevermind. This one's Her Loss. And 21 Savage, it's a collab album with him, Her Loss.
21.
But they did a song together, Jimmy Crooks, on Honestly Nevermind, and it led over. So, Certified Lover Boy, Honestly Nevermind, Her Loss. So it's like dating someone, the breakup, you getting over them. That's what the trilogy means.
Huh.
But there's not really like a certain story with each album. So it's like, it doesn't make any sense.
It's not like Trapped in the Closet.
No. Well, like albums, like some albums have
I
a
know
story.
what you mean, yeah.
Like the Beatles. Some of their albums, you could see a clear story of what they're thinking and going through a style, whatever. But the only thing that kind of makes sense is the first one is like a pretty upbeat. Like there's no sad songs on Certified Lover Boy. And then you get Honestly Nevermind, and it's like a dance. It's a club album, which is like a different mood.
Yeah.
And then he's back with his boy, and they're happy again. And it's very toxic because he's talking about fucking chicks and Megan Thee Stallion shooting herself in the foot, and his ex-girlfriend's husband, Serena Williams, he dated her. He was like, "Your husband's a groupie," and he's just dissing everyone. He dissed Kendrick Lamar. Like he's just pissed off. That's not movie news, but it's something I care about.
But it's not topical.
It's not topical, but let's get to the movie news with Mr. Chlamydia Man himself, Timothy Chalamet.
Right. So aside from a rumor that like is probably not true and has been like coming up and then dying down and then coming up and then dying down.
If chlamydia had a face, that's the face it would make.
Yeah, not unlike an STD does.
He looks like he's doing a Michael Jackson biopic right there.
He kind of does. That's not a great picture of Timothy Chalamet. That being said, as you are aware, and many of you may be aware, they're making a Willy Wonka movie. I don't know if it's supposed to be a prequel or if it's like a retelling.
I thought it was a prequel.
Or what. But anyways, Timothy Chalamet, he's Willy Wonka.
Is it Chalamet or Chalamet?
Chalamet. And...
When did that start?
What did you think it was?
Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, Timothy Chalamet.
Chalamet? I don't remember. You know what? Keep going.
Charlemagne?
That'd be a good meme.
Timothy Charlemagne the God. Yeah, that would actually be pretty funny.
Talking about eating ass.
So his co-star, Keegan-Michael Key, the less talented of Key and Peele, says that Timothy Chalamet as Wonka drips charisma.
Dripping that STD everywhere.
Right.
Nasty butt.
Did you remember that this Willy Wonka thing was a thing?
No.
Like before I brought this up?
No.
I didn't either. And I'm not re-interested in it because Keegan-Michael Key said that Timothy Chalamet drips charisma. I knew that he did that already. He's a good actor. But what I am interested in is that apparently they talked to Chalamet on it, and in typical Willy Wonka movie fashion, it is a musical, and Timothy Chalamet has like 6 musical numbers in it, and that is the part that I'm way more interested in than anything else, because
I'm least interested in it now.
I want to see Timothy Chalamet be in a musical, because I think that movie is going to be just so freaking weird that I adore it, or it's just going to suck.
I think that's the thing you have to do with that movie now.
And I'm equally prepared for either of them.
Like, I don't know which movie it's following. I'm assuming it's the original, Gene Wilder.
See, I just assumed they were doing like a Joker thing with it.
Well, yeah, I guess you do that too. But you have to make that movie so outlandishly weird that like people have to go watch it.
Yeah.
To get people in the theater.
If you're making a Willy Wonka movie, I just think you have to say there are no rules. Like,
yeah,
where like whatever, like they'd be sending dailies to the studio heads, and they were probably like, why do we spend money on this? And then it's going to end up being some like cult classic, and the next generation of emo kids are going to love it.
Take acid and watch it,
and I'm probably going to love it, but we'll see. Next up, this one's just funny to me because outside of Sons of Anarchy, this guy is not good.
I don't know.
Well, you pull his IMDb up,
I'm about to.
and I'll read the people of the news. Charlie Hunnam, eyes career
Charlie
pivot.
Hunnam.
You can't. We're fucking on air. You can't just type that shit for once in your life.
I got technology for a reason.
You're so lazy. Charlie Hunnam says, "I'm going to try to only act in things that I write."
Why? How's that funny? You laughing at his hopes and dreams, dude? That ain't cool.
Because he's not a good actor.
Be supportive.
Like, he had one type of thing that he was good at. And he did that thing. And that's it.
King Arthur. Didn't watch it, but it looked really, really bad. The Gentleman, for what he did in it, it was good. I like The Gentleman. Guy Ritchie.
Mm-hmm. I know what you're talking about.
Papillon, the remake. It was good. I liked it. Did you watch it?
No.
You seen the original?
I've seen the original.
Original fire. Lost City of Z. I remember this had good reviews. 86 on Rotten Tomatoes. Papillon has how much? 52. That's not deserving. I don't know Papillon anymore. Pacific Rim. Say what you will.
They're fun, but they're not good.
The Last Looks. It's got Mel Gibson in it. 67% of Rotten Tomatoes.
Him and Kanye are hanging out. So.
Fine. Oh, I was like, what? Why is Charlie Hunnam hanging out with Kanye? Jungleland, that boxing movie, 74%. He's a mid actor. I wouldn't say he's trash. Triple Front.
Well,
that
my
Netflix
thing is,
movie, 70%.
listen, the dude could be an incredible writer, for all I know. But, like, why you gotta act in your own shit? You can't just write a movie and let people that are good at acting be in the movie.
Crimson Peak. You're an emo kid. You should like that.
Sure.
73%.
Show you a Crimson Peak.
What does that even mean?
I don't know.
I ain't mad at him. Apparently he's in John Wick 3.
Huh.
I don't remember him being in John Wick 3. Sons of Anarchy was fire, though. It's one of my favorite shows.
Yeah, Sons of Anarchy was incredible. The 2 seasons that I watched.
Why didn't you finish it?
I can't finish anything. Like, if it's something that I have to, like, pay attention to, and it's a TV show, I will never finish it.
You know what I finished?
What? House? Nice.
I finally finished House. And let me tell you something about House. After him and Cuddy broke up, I was like, I should stop watching right now. Probably ain't gonna be that good. And then I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna finish it. Tab got a lot better. He got 2 chicks knocked up. I can fuck with that. His relationship with Foreman, very good as well. Big fan of that.
Red Foreman?
No, Eric, which is like why did they give him that name? I never understood why they named him Eric Foreman when there's already an Eric Foreman. It was like, this sounds good. I guess, I don't know. And that was good. Chase's storyline comes back and forth. That's fire. But they was like, we're still going to focus all of his time with what's his homeboy's name? His friend, Doctor.
I don't know. I can't remember. I haven't watched House in years.
But this is going to focus all the friendship. That's going to be the main focus of the show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. This motherfucker drives his fucking car through Cuddy's house. Goes to jail. And I'm like, what the fuck? Keep watching. Fire 13's in and out. Good shit. But the episode, my favorite episode now, I know I said that last week, but my favorite episode of House was Jeffrey Wright, where they're doing the investigation, where Eric's Foreman's the head of medicine now, and he gets House out of jail to work for him while he's got ankle monitor on, and he does one of his house things, so like, we'll give him this and we'll find out what it is. These are the possibilities. If it's this, we'll know. And it's like a psychotic outburst, and Chase ends up getting stabbed.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
That fucking interrogation, the editing and everything, so fucking good. But Jeffrey Wright, I was like, damn, he wasn't just good in the Batman. He's been good for a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where the fuck is Jeffrey Wright been at? He's so fucking good.
He's chilling. He's doing his thing.
I'm gonna have to go on a Jeffrey Wright binge. I'm gonna get IMDb and see what movies he's in. Check him out. So fucking good. But I watched it all. He's does meth and then fakes his death and fucking dips. And I was like, that's a house thing to do. But he leaves like a little reminder for everyone.
Yeah.
Like, it was like so good, heartwarming. Made me cry a bunch of times. Great ending. Investment out the wazoo. Never gets boring. Because my favorite part about that, they let storylines happen, but they don't let them overstay their welcome.
Sure.
Like, if a character's on there 5 episodes, they're just on there 5 episodes and they're out.
Yeah.
Like the girl who, like, oh, that's lying. And she tells the patient, and the patient's like, oh, no, I don't want to do it anymore. I forget her name. But they had her in there for a little while and they kicked her out. But the last team, fire. You got the girl from the jail house worked at, the Asian girl, Chase, Tab, House, best team. So season 8 was actually really good. And then they had another episode, and I was like, fuck, they ended it so perfectly. Why you get another episode? But it was just like a documentary style of Hugh Laurie walking around with a camera interviewing people. That motherfucker's not even American.
Yo, you didn't know that?
I just spent the last month of my life hearing this man talk for hours on end.
Yeah.
And this jolly old man right here, he's the one who edits. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Where the hell did that come from? I was flabbergasted. I watched half of that just because I was in awe. I was like, he ain't faking.
No, he's
I was like,
yeah,
damn.
he's English.
But yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Top 10 favorite shows of all time.
Yeah.
Not top 5. So between 6 and 10, that's where I put House.
Nice.
Jeffrey Wright.
I've been watching Digimon.
Bruh, Digimon.
I've been thinking about...
I hated Digimon.
Honestly, I've been thinking about making a TikTok just about it because I have things to say about it.
Like what?
Like...
You would make 2 TikToks and then quit.
I probably would, but that's because I just... I've only fully committed to one thing in mind. Well, that's not true. I've only fully committed to 3 things in my life. 4 things.
Can I guess
Well,
them?
no. Okay.
Come up with a fucking number so I can start guessing.
I'm going to say 4, but...
Alright. Anna. Obviously.
Uh-huh.
Fully commit?
Yeah.
Well, NotTopical's off the table.
Correct.
Our friendship.
Yes.
Work.
Okay, so work is the one with the caveat. I'm fully committed to my 28 years until I can retire.
Okay.
So not for life.
So Teller Nights.
No.
What?
Well, yeah,
Right.
I like to bounce around. I'm not.
Right.
I cheat on Satellar Nights. I've been playing the Power Rangers on.
Watch out.
On Master Duel.
I don't fucking know then.
Well, it was just Austin, or well,
Austin.
Chris and the Williams family.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I watched them all 2 together. Yeah, I don't know. I always felt like Digimon was for like trailer park people who couldn't afford Pokemon.
No, and so I always thought that growing up too. And if anyone ever told me that Digimon was better than Pokemon, I would be like, "You're insane." And that's my response isn't as strong now, but it is not better than Pokemon. It is really good.
Better than Yu-Gi-Oh!
The what Digimon?
Cartoon.
The Digimon the anime. The so far is that's tough because like the concept of Yu-Gi-Oh is so cool, but I played like real life Yu-Gi-Oh in like a semi-competitive setting, meaning I had to learn all of the actual rules.
Yeah, ruined the show.
So it is hard to watch the show where it is like
that's fair.
you can't do any of that. Like what?
So bias out the way. Let's say Yu-Gi-Oh's number 2. Is number 3 what do you call it? Bakugan?
Oh, battle Bakugans? Yeah. No.
That a thing?
Yeah, that is a thing, but that's not... Digimon's way better than that.
Alright. Is it better than Beyblades? Is
Yeah.
that too old for
Yeah.
you?
No, it's better than Beyblade. I call it Beyblade came out like the anime came out on the tail end of my like watching that.
I need to grow the fuck up phase.
Yeah, but now that I'm older and I'm in my, I can watch what I want. I could watch Sons of Anarchy and Ozark and all this like adult shit, and then I can have Digimon on in the background while I'm working. Like, and it doesn't mean shit about how mature I am or not. I enjoy it.
Man, over here in Netflix and I'm chilling with little anime monsters.
But there have been like multiple times, like, so the first season of Digimon, they just lumped it all together. So like, it's really in kind of two parts. So part 1 is 54 episodes. Part 2 is 50 episodes. There were like legitimately times where I was like a little misty eyed. And I was just like, damn, this shit got me. Like,
I love that surprising, like, emotion.
Yeah, and so, like, something that Digimon has that Pokemon couldn't... Like, Pokemon has episodes where it hits on stuff really hard, but Digimon is, like, consistently about, like, relationships and the importance of, like, bond and friendships.
Like Yu-Gi-Oh!
And things like that. Yeah, kind of, but, like, it does that specific thing better than Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Kind of forces this whole, like, oh, we're best friends. And it's just like,
they put their hands together
Tristan doesn't fucking matter. Like, Tristan does not matter. And like, Taya, she's there because they had to have a girl in the group. Like, Joey and Yugi are the only two that matter. Like, Tristan was like into Duel Monsters the first episode and then just like never had anything to do with that shit ever again.
So have you talked to HT about this?
I have not.
That's the motherfucker you talk about this shit with.
Well, I did send him and his Anna a Snapchat because I finished One Punch Man, which was very good. I finished the only 2 seasons that exist of One Punch Man, and it was really good. And then I sent them a Snapchat because I was trying to pick a new anime that I'd never watched before. But then I saw Digimon, and then I was like, told myself I was going to finish One Punch Man and start a new anime. Rewatches Digimon instead.
So if I remember correctly, the main Digimon is the little orange motherfucker dinosaur.
Agumon, yeah. That's what I want to make a TikTok about, is because like, so Digimon Digivolve, right?
Yeah, sure.
And it's like, the designs for some of them are just so boring. They're like garbage. Like,
are they logical?
But it's fun because I wouldn't say they're illogical. They make sense for like the theme that they go through for the most part. But it's funny because it's like they're so so on their first stages, this one could be like the coolest one.
Okay.
And it digivolves into like the stupidest one out of all the second level ones. And then goes back to being like the second cool. Like, it's just so like
inconsistent.
Yeah, so like one of them is like this little plant thing, right? And like its first stage, it's kind of base stage is called Palmon. Palmon is dope. Like, the voice acting for Palmon is incredibly good. I love the character design. She evolves into like a giant fucking cactus with arms that wears boxing gloves.
No, that's fire. I love that.
It's so stupid.
I remember that as a kid. That shit fire.
It's so stupid. Yeah, but then she digivolves and like shrinks down into this like pixie fairy thing that has like a fucking flower cannon for arms, and that shit's dope. So it's like, and like one of them's second Digi-evolution, it's just a bird that is on fire. Like
Phoenix?
Like, it's I guess it's kind of a phoenix, but it's literally called Birdramon. So it's like some of the names and designs are so whack, but like
clearly. Yeah.
Anyways.
So what's the little guy, orange guy's name again?
Agumon. Who evolves into Greymon.
Well, I don't care.
Who evolves into Metal Greymon. And then Agumon can warp Digivolve into War Greymon. But there's one episode where Ty like pressures him to Digivolve, so he accidentally Digivolves into Skull Greymon, and then he's a bad guy for a little bit.
How many episodes have you seen of this?
I have finished part 1, which was 54 episodes, and I think I'm like 11 episodes into part 2, which is 50.
Well, when you finish part 2,
60 something episodes.
When you finish part 2, you get your virginity back. So
nice,
sick.
I can go to heaven.
But back to the point I was trying to make. What's the little orange guy's name?
Agumon.
Little D from Yu-Gi-Oh! Whoop his motherfucking ass.
No way.
Yes, sir.
No shot.
Yes,
also,
sir.
Speaking of stuff like that, though, I found this guy on TikTok who like explains, like the stories that are actually behind some like the Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff, but not the archetypes. So it's like cards that don't like, you know how like skill drain is a picture of
God. What the fuck is it?
God dang it. So the monster that's like getting his skill drained in it.
I don't even remember what that looks like.
He has a name. So it's like he ties all of the stories and the artwork together. It's not like he's like explaining he's not necessarily explaining archetypes, but like he ties the artwork together. Like he did one about Sangan and how he ends up meeting the tour guide from the underworld. And then there's those trap cards. Like there's the one where they're in jail. There's the one where he misses the bus and like all that stuff. So it's like, it's really fun.
That's funny.
Yeah. Anyways.
So now that we're done about you clapping cheeks while Digimon's in the background, let's talk about some movies again.
Yeah. So I forgot that Ryan Gosling was going to be in this movie. So Winston Duke is now going to be in Universal's The Fall Guy, which is based on a 70s TV show.
I was about to say, you better not say that stupid ass video game.
No, it's not the video game.
Is that a video game? Little
yes,
motherfuckers?
You're right.
Okay.
No, this is based on a 70s TV show. And the TV show is about a stuntman who needs to make extra money, so he just like bounty hunts on the side. And I think it's just wacky enough to work. But I wonder, like, I don't know what Duke's role is going to be, but he's really good. I like this guy. I think him and Ryan Gosling could be good together.
Is it two people, or is he going to be the bad guy?
And that's what I don't know what they're doing.
Because they just make him a generic 70s bad guy that probably won't be any good.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Focused on a stuntman.
Already has Emily Blunt.
Yeah, Aaron Taylor Johnson. Yeah. So there's like big names on it. And like David Leitch, like Bullet Train was fun, you know?
I love Bullet Train. It's really good.
Yeah, like, and he makes like fun movies for the most part. So I'm just really interested into what it's going to be, because like the whole point of, like, Lee Majors played the character in the 70s, but he was like significantly older than Ryan Gosling is now, because the whole point of the character is that like he's too old to really do stunts anymore, almost like Brad Pitt in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Like he's kind of like past his prime, so he has to do this like side hustle shit to go pick people who like skip bail and stuff. So
they should just make a sequel and make it that.
I think what would make this good is if they stick with that time frame.
70s?
Yeah, like I feel like if they made it current, I don't think it would be as good.
I may be talking to my ass. I don't read articles. The only thing I read is back at cereal boxes every couple of years. But when you have Ryan Gosling in the 70s, he looks like he should be in the 70s, because I've seen The Nice Guys.
Yeah.
And it takes place in the 70s. A very good movie. But any action movie that has a premise that isn't as like out there, isn't plain Jane, like, I'm here for. I saw the dumbest, stupidest fucking trailer when I went to go see the Banshees of Inisherin. This movie called Plane. And guess what?
It's on a plane.
A plane goes down.
Huh.
And terrorists kidnap people. You couldn't come up with a better title than fucking Plane.
Also, like, what a boring...
What's the guy from, who looks, from Gamer? He looks like a Gladiator, but like a Great Value brand. Who played Gladiator?
Are you talking about Gerard Butler?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like Gerard Butler.
Well, Russell Crowe was the Gladiator.
Yeah, Gerard Butler.
And Gerard Butler was in Gamer.
Yeah. Gerard Butler looks like a off-brand Russell Crowe. But he's in all these shitty, stupid action movies
Yeah.
that don't make any money, so studios don't want to put money into action movies. That's what I think. I think it's all Gerard Butler's fault.
Yeah. Just make good
Him
movies.
and his stupid face. No, action movies. Give me some action movies.
Well, speaking of action movies, the original studio that made Godzilla
I won't call that an action movie.
is making another Godzilla movie. Well, it has action in it, and I agree that it's not an action movie.
I don't give a fuck about this either.
You don't?
No.
Because you kind of liked some of the Kong and Godzilla shit, right?
I like
it was decent. I didn't watch it.
No, I did not like it. I like Kong, Skull Island.
Fuck monkeys. I hate monkeys.
I hate Godzilla.
Kong's the best.
Do
you remember we had that whole freaking thing about who was gonna win?
No one really wins, but
except Godzilla does win.
Bullshit. But
I read the plot on Wikipedia. I know what happens.
Bullshit. The only Godzilla movie I ever watched was
Matthew Broderick.
No, thankfully. I've seen more episodes of the cartoon based on the Matthew Broderick movie than I've seen any actual Godzilla movies.
God bless the late 90s, early 2000s, where every single teenage/adult PG-13 movie got its own cartoon series.
The Men in Black one was John Floyd.
No, it was good. Yeah,
but
Beetlejuice cartoon's good too.
I saw this Godzilla movie, and Walter White, he ain't selling no crack in it. Aaron Taylor Johnson and Elizabeth Olsen, they're not brother and sisters. They ain't got no superpowers. They're husband and wife. And he shows up for 10 minutes in the movie. That motherfucker, he was Beetlejuice. Speaking of Beetlejuice, he's like, I'll show up for 10 minutes and leave, motherfucker. That movie was bad. Not bad. It was underwhelming. It was okay.
So it worked better for Beetlejuice and Jaws than it did Godzilla.
Yeah. I think Beetlejuice is overrated, personally. I love Beetlejuice, but it's overrated.
I don't think it's overrated. How's it overrated?
Because.
Who is overrating Beetlejuice?
Like, what would you say?
Like, who is saying Beetlejuice is a great movie? It's phenomenal. It's so good.
Where would you think the world puts Beetlejuice?
Like, on what scale?
1 to 10. I'd say
7.
Most people have it around
6.5, 7.
Okay, see, I see everyone putting it at like a 7.5 to an 8.
No, I don't think so.
Those people, Beetlejuice is overrated. And that's all I gotta say about that.
That's fair. I don't really care about the Godzilla movie either, but I do think it is interesting that, like, I'm assuming this doesn't have anything to do with
the last one, didn't it?
All their stuff that they're trying to do.
There's 2 Godzilla movies around the same time period, and I don't remember what it was called.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that I'm just like disappointed. So when I was a kid, I loved Godzilla. Thought that shit was cool. My dad used to let me watch like all the old Godzilla movies when they'd come on the Sci-Fi Channel, and so like I used to know the name of like all the other monsters and shit, all the kaijus. And I had a bunch of the action figures too. I had like 6 Godzilla action figures, and they looked cool as shit because they were all like really detailed and stuff. So they were really great for my little Power Ranger action figures to fight.
Oh yeah, probably so. Yeah.
So like I have this like weird nostalgic connection to Godzilla, but I just like, I think I just don't trust any movie studio, whether it is Hollywood or Japan or wherever, to not just fuck up an existing thing. Like, anytime they try to reboot something or remake something, 8 times out of 10 is not good. So just stop. Just make something original. Like, you guys are smart. You came up with Godzilla the first time. Come up with something new.
Older people are smarter.
What?
I think older people are actually smarter.
What do you mean?
Like, on average. So...
So you're taking the whole with age comes wisdom approach?
No, but like, for me personally, like, motherfuckers back in the day, I think they were just like, their smartness obviously had a ceiling.
Yeah.
But that generation as a whole was much smarter than our generation and the generation under us, I guess, over us.
I don't think that's true.
Tomorrow's generation.
I think knowledge is so accessible now that, like, like smartness is more equal.
No,
So it doesn't seem like that. But
because like
do you mean like common sense smarter?
no, but yes, for sure. But like book smart as a whole, I think because back then you had different, like obviously there was less stuff to learn, especially in history. But
I mean,
like
correct.
like when it comes to like spelling and just like writing sentences, cursive, like cursive's never coming back. I don't think anyone's teaching
That doesn't
cursive
make you
anymore.
smarter though.
I'm just saying.
We didn't need it in the
I'm just
first
saying.
place.
They had certain. I wish it would come back. I think it looks nice. They had certain things they learned, and because of that, they got more knowledge in those base subjects.
This is something that Strange Wang wrote earlier. Can you read that? Because I could barely read that, and this is almost cursive. It is so jumbled and fucked up and hard to read. It is almost cursive. Maybe you should just write in cursive. I could probably read it.
I'll start.
But that is from the man who is telling you that we should bring cursive
But
back.
I wasn't in that generation, so they had more time to work on certain things. They got to learn more words. Their vocabularies are better. They can smell. They can spell more words. They're better at basic math, and because of that, I think they have an edge. Because like this generation now, maybe because it's from the parents, and like obviously your fucking drunk abusive dad, like you can hit people back in the day. You can't hit people now. So like if they didn't get good grades, there was no like people sleeping in class back in the day, getting like straight F's, dropping out, fucking being held back, shit like that. So I was just thinking, on average, more people are smarter. Because like my high school grade, I think our like record, like we had like, they said it. They're like, oh, we're so proud of the class of 2014. You only had 82 dropouts, which is a record number for like since 1984 or whatever, right?
Sure.
And it was like the class above me, 2 classes above me, 25 people graduated. Like what?
Wait, no, there's had to be more than 25 people that graduated.
Bro,
I promise you, not only 25. We went to the same high school. I know about how big your class size was. Not only 25 people graduated. Are you saying 25%? Or are you saying 25 people?
Bro, so I don't know if that gym was built when you was there. The basketball gym off to the commons.
Yeah.
That little tiny section right there is fucking stairwell, bleachers. They only filled up one side of the bleachers. That's how small my senior class was. Because during the pep rallies, that's where all the seniors sat. Now, you can say maybe some...
That fits a good chunk of people.
Maybe some of them left early. But like, one section...
Can I tell you something that doesn't help the whole like generation smartness thing? We have motherfuckers out here saying dumb shit like reading is for prisoners.
Ain't nobody, bro, no one watches our videos. No one fucking cares what I have to fucking say. So I should be in this conversation.
But you were the one. You were the one who is saying that.
Yeah.
Back then, and complaining about the difference.
Now you got kids. They don't care about fucking reading books. Some of them, they want to quit and drop out and drink lean and fucking do drugs and do what the rappers are doing and things like that.
Yeah, but the kids that want to do that weren't allowed to go to school back when in the time that you were talking about.
In the 70s?
Yeah, but like literally they just didn't go to school.
I think if you take the class from the 70s and a class from the day and put them up against basic knowledge.
A class from the 70s, all those kids were fucking high as shit.
Who cares? I bet class from the 70s would get better grades on an average test.
I disagree.
On like an SAT or whatever.
I think it is much more consistent and flat than you think it is.
I don't know. There was a bunch of dumb motherfuckers. Because teachers also, I think...
You think there weren't dumb motherfuckers in the 70s?
Yeah, but I think teachers cared more back then. Probably. Because, like, if you slept in class...
Well, they got paid a living wage back then,
motherfuckers didn't wake you up. You went to sleep. Who gives a fuck? They didn't wake you up. You skipped school, ain't nobody give a fuck. George Bush says, we gotta push you through, dog.
They literally had truancy officers back then. That their whole job was to go out and find kids.
Yeah, I get that.
So they did, in fact, care if you didn't show up.
You can only have so many. And motherfuckers took their many. And, I guess I gotta be here the rest of the semester.
No. I think it is much more similar than you think.
When we worked together, there's some people I went to high school with.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of dumb as a bag of rocks.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not arguing with you that the No Child Left Behind thing is ultimately very bad for the education system. It is. But there were dumb people back in the 70s, too.
School got too complicated nowadays. Where it's like the base shit... George Bush, maybe that is a George Bush thing. They push you through to the point where even if you don't have a good idea of like basic knowledge, who gives a fuck? You don't know where to put a comma? Who gives a fuck? The computer will tell you where to put the goddamn comma. You know?
But why does knowing where to put a comma equate to like general intelligence or knowledge? Like, those are just rules that we made up about how to construct a sentence to make them a little easier to read. It doesn't have anything to do with knowledge. You could know a shit ton of things and not know where to put a freaking Oxford comma. I don't even know where to put like, man, when I type reports for work, I got so many fucking commas in that shit. I know half of them are not where they're supposed to be. When I read it in my head, it's like, sounds like there should be a pause there, comma.
You don't got Grammarly?
I don't use that.
Why not?
Because who
It's a report
cares?
for work.
Because it doesn't matter.
For work.
It doesn't matter.
For my job, I use Grammarly.
Why? Well, you need it.
Because Instagram, them shits be looking clean.
You type like 2 sentences.
Who gives a fuck? They need to know where the fuck we're open on Thanksgiving, dude. That's what they need to know. Are we open on Black Friday?
They're open on Thanksgiving?
Or not?
Oh, I was about to say, no shot.
Open on Black Friday.
Well, I believe that.
So, it is what it is. But, yeah. Bruh. Top 5 drinks of all time. What's your top 5 drinks? I found out something that motherfucker's been hiding from you, boy, Strange Wang. I don't know if they've been keeping it in the shirts or been putting it in a different bottle. I found a drink, and it's one of the most magnificent things that ever touched my tongue.
Fresca.
What?
Fresca?
Was that coffee?
No, it's like it's kind of like Sprite, but it was like a different brand. They had a little different formula.
Nah. All right. Top 5. You an old fucker, so we're gonna go ahead and throw Spurge on there.
Surge?
Surge.
What the fuck is... You didn't even say splurge. You said... What did you say? Spurge? What? Want some spurge? That sounds incredibly dirty.
Hey, yo!
Like, have some... Drink this glass of fresh spurge. If you're referring...
You a dirty dog.
To the classic 90s drink, Surge.
Yeah. You old, you got that on the list.
Surge wasn't even... Listen, I don't have a problem saying it. Surge wasn't even that good.
Surge is hella good.
It is good.
When I brought it back, it was very good.
The marketing for it, though, was incredible. Like, they marketed Surge so well that, like... It was, like... Yeah, it was incredible. All right.
Top 10.
Top 5 drinks, period?
Period.
Okay, so, like...
Your fucking go-to. You're a Diet Pepsi man.
So, wait, this is not... So, are we excluding alcoholic beverages?
Nah, whatever you want your drinks.
All right.
And I'll tell you my... No order.
All right, well, regular Mountain Dew.
All right. Code Red also on there. You
well, okay, I'm just gonna go to like my go-tos because I honestly
you drink?
I drink like 5 drinks.
Well, there you go.
And I'm not counting water.
Those. No.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody counting water.
All right.
I swim in water.
Mountain Dew, coffee.
What kind of coffee? Starbucks coffee?
I will drink
Regular ass coffee.
I drank black coffee when I left the house this morning. I got a pumpkin spice latte after I left my morning meeting.
You a fucking demon. How the fuck you drink black coffee?
I love black coffee. If it's good coffee, it's like I like black coffee. I love the way I love
why
it.
You got hair on your chest and I don't?
Probably.
You a fucking demon for that one.
All right, Mountain Dew, coffee. Just regular Coke.
America.
Sweet tea.
You southern motherfucker.
It's good. Shit's good.
Pacific Place, McDonald's sweet tea, Brisk.
I like both of those. McDonald's sweet tea is good. I mean, but sweet tea can be bad.
Yeah, for sure. Brisk with lemon, that shit was fire.
It's good. I love Brisk with lemon. McDonald's sweet tea is good. Like, we got some local restaurants with really good sweet tea.
So, tea in general.
Yeah, sweet tea. Dang it, man, I had it. I had one in my head.
That's Splurge.
Spurge.
6.5 hours later.
Number 5, made a decision. Barks root beer.
Who?
Barks root beer.
Is that the dog?
Just like the
bulldog?
No, that's Mug. Barks is like the silver can.
Oh, the Cokes?
It's a Coke product, yeah.
I know I like a fucking root beer.
Fucking
fuck
love
you drink
root beer.
root beer?
It's good shit.
Man, fuck root beer. That was so disappointing.
Why?
The most underwhelming. Like, you got all these fire drinks and you put goddamn root beer.
I love root beer.
Fuck.
It's not my fault you have like a boring ass palate. Can't handle root beer. Yeah, root beer and Dr. Pepper have like an incredibly similar taste.
Fuck out of here. Number 1 for me, the doctor himself, old DP. I had a dream about DP. I'll tell you about that later. I'm probably telling you, the sleeping pills got me having wacky dreams.
The only thing about Dr. Pepper is the least drinkable soda if it's flat.
Yeah, I don't drink flat sodas. Anyways, that fucking
I'm not
fire,
wasteful.
that burn, 23 flavors. Next, classic Baja Blast. I'm done with Mountain Dew. I don't drink Mountain Dew anymore. I'm getting old. The acid reflux is hitting me.
You've done this before, though.
I'm on that Dr. Pepper. Baja Blast is the only exception. Next, Yoo-Hoo.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck milk. I don't like white milk. I'll tolerate some chocolate milk, strawberry if I'm in the mood. But fuck milk usually in general. Yoo-Hoo, the greatest chocolate thing to ever exist in this world.
Yoo-Hoo's pretty good.
Fire. Tahitian treat.
Ugh.
You got 99 cent, motherfucker. You got a good ass drink. Ugh. What are you talking about? Ugh. You never had a Tahitian treat before?
Yeah. Why? How else would I say ugh? It's just Hawaiian Punch is so much better.
Bullshit.
No.
Bro, Hawaiian Punch tastes watered down. It's not a sugary. Bro, fuck Hawaiian Punch. Hawaiian Punch tastes so much better as a kid. I drank Hawaiian Punch like, say, a year ago. It was the red one. Garbage.
What if you just got a bad one?
Who knows? That blue one's still fire, though. I ain't had it in a while, but I just know blue's fire. Number 5. The fucking... They've been keeping this drink away from me for fucking ever. I don't know where it came from. It came out the sky from the heavens. Some angels brought it down. And I do mean angels, because I'm talking about a Pacific place.
Kombucha?
No, I went to Chick-fil-A. Them gay-hating motherfuckers that love Jesus. I was in the Chick-fil-A line. They said, sorry, sir. The calibration with our our soda machine isn't working. We can't give you a Dr. Pepper.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, all right, what else you got that's actually good? They said lemonade. And I saw the lemonade before and I was like, because like, I don't like blue cheese. Follow me. I don't like blue cheese because it got chunks in it. And all that chunks, that's what's gross to me. There's probably some pubic hair in there. The chunks are no good. I don't want no chunks with my salad dressing. when I saw the chunks in the lemonade, I thought about blue cheese,
Ugh.
and I never wanted to drink their lemonade. And without thinking, because when I go to Cookout, I say, let me get a pink lemonade and an orange push pop shake. And I only have Cookout when it's my off days because I'm lactose intolerant. That's a story for a different day. So, looking, I want to say this. I got that motherfucker. I said, gross. I looked at this lemonade for 5 minutes.
Before you drank it?
And I was like fucking Ralphie's homeboy when he's got his tongue about to put on the pole. My eyes lit up. That's better than pussy. That's the greatest lemonade I've ever had in my life. Top 5.
You've never had Chick-fil-A's lemonade
No.
before?
It's been hiding from me. No one told me this shit was that fucking good. They told me the peach milkshakes were good. And them things Johnny Blaze. What?
I don't like peach.
We can talk about that in a minute. But that lemonade? Holy shit. Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A lemonade's good.
I stopped by Chick-fil-A just to get a lemonade now.
Yeah.
It's so fucking good.
Well, I'm happy for you.
And I was like, I told someone else the story. And then I yelled at him. I said, Colby, why the fuck you ain't telling me about this lemonade since you knew the lemonade was so goddamn good all this time? I've been to Chick-fil-A with you, actually.
Yeah.
You ain't never got the lemonade. If you would have got lemonade and I would have saw the chunk percentage didn't bother you, I'd probably be like, I might give that a try.
Lemonade's not...
I've never been with someone who got Chick-fil-A lemonade.
Lemonade's not carbonated.
I wasn't got to do anything.
So Chick-fil-A's chicken is obviously very good.
Incredible as well.
Yeah. I like it better with a little bubbly.
A little bubbly.
Yeah.
You take some champagne in there with the fucking Chick-fil-A.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of the bubbly.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Bro.
But yeah, their lemonade's good.
That's an understatement. That's one of the best stuff that ever touched my tongue.
I'm glad. I'm happy for you.
I could say some really inappropriate things.
Lemonade was like my number 6.
About how much I love their lemonade, but I'm not.
Okay.
But just know.
Yeah, I believe you.
So fucking
Yeah, lemonade was my number 6.
good. What lemonade? Any lemonade.
No, not any lemonade. You know what lemonade's not
Chick-fil-A
good?
lemonade is
Like,
the only one.
Fucking Minute Maid, like bottled lemonade, garbage.
What?
That shit's garbage,
What?
dude. That shit's trash.
No way. I'm never gonna drink it again.
It's so trash.
I'm never gonna drink it again. But that was my lemonade of choice.
Garbage.
Nah.
Give me a pitcher full of Country Time, baby. That shit's good.
Gross.
It's not gross.
Bro, give me the canned Minute Maid.
Maybe the way
I'll
that
crush those.
maybe the way that you make it.
Bruh,
That's
I
what's
make
great
that
about
shit.
Country Time. You can make it however the fuck you want. That shit says, play half a cup for a gallon of water.
Ah,
Fuck
2
you.
cups.
Yeah. Bah.
2 cups for
Fucking
sure.
6. Throw that shit in there.
6.
Pour the whole bottle in.
You got diabetes.
I like my lemonade, like, the more tart, the better.
I wanted to fill it
Yeah.
in here after I'm done with it.
Yeah.
And you got their fucking ice with the fucking lemonade at Chick-fil-A.
Have you ever had, like,
too perfect.
have you ever had, like, cart lemonade?
Cart.
Yeah, so, like, you ever gotten lemonade at, like a fair? Or, like, from one of the carts that they're, like, pushing on the beach? Oh, that shit's good, too. So, like, that one is off-putting to some people because it's, like, fresh mixed right there. So, they put so much sugar in it that it doesn't all mix super well. So, you be drinking it and, like, you can feel the sugar granules.
I fuck with that.
So, once you get past that, it's, like, really fucking good. But,
I fuck with that.
yeah. Some grainy lemonade.
Bruh, I was so mad that I, like, just found out about that shit. It's like,
Well, hey.
it's like, you gay hating motherfucker, you ain't tell me about this sooner.
Listen, it's like I told the guy that I dealt with
They
earlier.
didn't recommend this shit to me.
It's like I told the guy that I dealt with earlier today who found out his girl was cheating on him.
She for the streets.
You don't ever have to go again without knowing. Now you know.
I guess.
This is a turning point in your life.
Sure.
Also, I'm going to tell that story because it was funny. I don't know if you have something else that we need to talk about, but so this guy, we get called, right?
Sure.
I don't talk about my job. If you can infer what I do, then good for you. But I'm not going to say it. So we go out there, and we got called because he's out in his yard just yelling and screaming and shit, right? I found the only loyal motherfucker in the hood.
No comment.
No comment. What do you mean?
You're kind of inferring. You're definitely inferring something. Everyone in the hood cheats. It's a little racist, too.
That's not racist. Okay, first of all...
Haven't you seen the movie Black Men Don't Cheat?
Have you listened to half of the shit that you say half the time?
I don't remember half the shit I say half the time.
No.
I don't say racist shit.
I've just never seen a grown man in his front yard crying because a girl who isn't even really his girl, who he only has sex with every other weekend, like bawling, not even drunk, just sobbing in his front yard because she's hooking up with someone else. And they're not even really together.
Because a woman's going to do what a woman's wants to do. That's how the world works.
A man's going to do what a man's going to do.
Nah, like...
It's a man's world. James Brown said so.
He did. But we'll talk about James Brown later. I feel like men have two girls that they were like, this is my ride or die. The first one is going to hurt them. The second one is going to be the one they're together with forever, right?
Maybe.
But in between, a man treats the rest of them like shit. Or doesn't give them the, not like shit. I don't know. Plays games with them. Doesn't take them seriously. It's a one-sided relationship.
Okay.
Like me, the last time I was in a situation, it was a one-sided relationship. You ask her, we talking about a date. You strange Wang. I see it from time to time. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Ain't no talking, ain't no feelings, nothing, nada. But if she went and slept with someone else, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to do what she wants to do regardless of what I think. So, until the dude feels like that's an appropriate one to put time in, a loyal one to put time in, don't give her time. Give her dick instead.
Well, he's been doing both.
But if she's just fucking you every 2 weeks, probably texting in between, I would assume.
Sure.
That ain't your girl.
Right.
It was his turn.
But that was my point.
She for the streets. Then I don't... What the fuck is that story about?
I don't understand. I guess I just don't understand why he was so upset.
Because he probably never got pussy before.
I doubt it. He's like 50-something years old.
That don't mean he got pussy.
Like,
he might not be able to know how to talk to girls.
No, this is not that type of person.
He might be the quiet friend who don't get no pussy.
He was not quiet. He literally had every single neighbor out in their yard.
Today he wasn't quiet.
But it's not. I've been out with him. You know the last time I was out with this guy? Because she shot him.
She shot him.
The same girl, like a year and a half ago.
He's an idiot.
Okay, and that is my point.
He was a loser before. Now he's a loser idiot.
Yeah.
Also, we should have made a podcast about relationships.
But the crazy part is...
Quality content.
We dealt with it. 2 hours later, we get another call. The call comes in from Facebook's headquarters. Because apparently, they actively monitor every time someone goes live. So this dude got on Facebook Live and started talking about how he's going to off himself. He's going to off this other dude. He's going crazy. So Facebook pinged his phone and then called us again And then we had to go find him at the bus station because we thought he was gonna.
Man, he's gonna get on the bus and go and Larry Moe somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn, bro.
And then I got out with him. He's still crying, and all he wanted was a ride to his mama's house. It don't make sense.
It don't make no motherfucking sense. Kodak Black had a song called Senseless, and that's what he says in the song.
Huh.
It don't make no fucking sense.
Like Caillou.
I've been rapping and I'm trapping, dog. It don't make no sense. Don't make no sense.
Well, when you see him, he's white, so...
When you see me, I'm white. Bro, he is the most gooniest goon I've ever seen in my life. Such a, like... I don't even think he's trying to be funny.
It's just who he is?
Half this thing, that's who he is. He's just... He's a confused child. That's what Kodak Black comes off to me.
That makes sense, yeah.
He's a confused child.
Yeah.
Like, when he does shit like that, like, the video of him in the car, and he's like, he's got the jury and the money, he's like, but he's got on, like, a polo shirt. That's nice. I'm a suburban kid now. Like, this is so innocent. Like, the whole, my name's Kodak Black, but when you see me, I'm white. So innocent. Like, the man still watches Caillou, for crying out loud.
Does he?
Her pussy ball like Caillou. He's got to watch Caillou to find out. I bet he used to watch Caillou. He got kids. He probably, hey, let me put you on to something. Puts on Caillou. And the kids run off, go play with the blocks or whatever they got.
And he's just still watching Caillou.
He's still watching.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he ain't wrong, though. I prefer him bald. Like Caillou.
Sure.
Does he got cancer?
Kodak Black?
Caillou.
I was like, what the fuck if I don't know. Yeah, that was like I don't know if that's confirmed, but I remember hearing that, like, just one of those, like, fan theories that Caillou had cancer. I don't know if it's true or not, though.
Goddamn Nosferatu down there, like, he got him cancer, too.
Tommy Pickles.
Yeah. He got cancer? I remember that. The whole, like, they're all dead or some shit.
Yeah.
You're telling me about that.
Yeah, the whole fan theory was that all of the, like, younger babies actually died. And, like, Angelica's the only one that's real, and they're all, like, in her head. Because she's, like, 3 or 4 or some shit in the show. And it's, like, the only way that she can, like, rationalize shit. And, like, Phil and Lil were like a miscarriage or something. So since she didn't know if it was a boy or a girl, so she just made one of each in her head.
Their mom definitely calls it lesbian.
Oh, Phil and Lil?
100%.
Yeah. And that was before you could really be out like that.
Yeah.
So like
the
marriage is like a cover up, I guess. I don't know.
Nah, I think he's a cock, and he's just watching like them just go to fucking carpet munching away. You know what I'm saying, dog? And he's just in the corner.
You're right. I was about to say he's like a watcher.
Yeah. You don't remember that? I don't remember if I told you this. You remember that Crazy Ex? The Crazy Ex?
Yeah.
Fucking, we got in this argument one time.
The one that we had to get your sweatshirt back from?
Yes.
Yeah.
We got in this argument one time. And I don't know if she was really bisexual. She never been with a girl before. But she said she was. I'm an asshole. And I think shit just doesn't make sense. So I think it's a trendy thing to say. And I think 25% of people who say they're bisexual aren't really bisexual.
Okay.
They just think it is because it's cool, or they want to be about the movement so bad, you know? But in the situation, I don't know if they would really be down to do that shit, you know what I'm saying? So I also think she did it because it was cool and trendy, because it matched her personality. And
well, I was about to say, I mean, I'm not saying if she was or wasn't, I don't know. But it does seem like something that would fit the image that she wants to create
whatever
for herself.
The case is.
Yeah.
She said that, right. So we got this huge fight. I don't remember what it was. I'm assuming I did something wrong in her eyes, to the point where, like, she thought I was going to break up with her or something, or cheat on her or whatever. I don't remember. Don't remember what to fight about. We fought fucking... We didn't have sex unless it was makeup sex. Because that's how much we fought. And I miss it because it was fun. Toxic relationships are fun. But...
Until they're not.
Yeah.
And then the not is like really not.
Well, I didn't get to the point where she shot me, so thankfully.
Well, there you go.
But we got
I feel like she would have though.
Bro, she had a gun, she might have. We got in this huge argument, and I remember like she was like, I guess like, I don't know if I can remember what the fuck we were fighting about, it made this a lot easier. But we're arguing, she's crying, she's like, I have a threesome, don't cheat on me. And I was like, it wasn't what the fight was about. And that's why it like threw me off. And I wasn't even mad. I was like, bitch, what the fuck are you talking about now? So I'm walking away and I'm like, I'm not dealing with this. Because that'll make her like me even more. If I don't resolve the problem. I'll just walk away. It'll make her want me more. And then she was like, you can just do whoever you want to as long as I get to watch. And I was like, what the fuck? Crazy.
Huh.
Crazy. And that wasn't the only one. The OnlyFans girl, she was a watcher too. But she said she had to pick them. Bad taste in women. Well, not me. Her. Well, me too.
No, you have bad taste in women.
I have bad taste in personalities. I don't have a bad taste in women.
That's who people are. That's literally what a personality is.
But they look good.
What? So what, dude? There's a billion people in the world that look good. That's not special.
But what I'm saying is, like, I got at least 50% of it right. You know what I'm saying?
No, you got like...
I got 50% of it right.
You got like 10% of it right.
Looks are, I think, half the battle. Because if you don't look good, we're not talking in the first place.
No, that's like...
If your wife didn't look good, you would have not swiped on her on Bumble.
Right.
You know, went to the next one.
Right, but you're equating it to like this whole, like 50% of a whole. It's like, look.
I think so.
Anybody who's on a dating app swipes on a ton of people that they think are attractive. That doesn't mean anything. Like, when my wife was on Bumble, and I think she was on Hinge too, I guarantee you I'm not the only person that she swiped on.
No, definitely not.
Because she saw plenty of other dudes that were attractive. Like,
name Adam.
Attractive is not... That's funny. Like, attractiveness is not special. It is not rare. It is like 10% of everything that you need to make something work.
Well, just find me a woman. A good church-going woman who knows how to balance a checkbook. That's what I want.
I wouldn't do that to her.
What? See, nah, but for real though, I think y'all motherfuckers, I think I got shitty fucking friends.
We don't have shitty fucking friends.
Because,
I think that you need to do some work on yourself before I find you someone like that.
Then why don't you just say that? Because another motherfucker, I was like, bro, hook me up. They hook up another nematode with a girl, and I'm like, what about me, dog? What about Wang?
What about me?
That's what I'm saying, dog. Because it's like, what does he think I'm gonna do? Dog her out and leave her? That's what I think he thinks that I would do. But I'm not gonna do that. If I know the person, I'm at least gonna be polite and be like, hey, I'm not into you. I'm still trying to get to a point where I enjoy fucking again. That shit wasn't exciting anymore. But you know what's exciting?
What?
Chadwick Boseman movies.
Boseman?
Boseman movies. Fuck. Rest in peace. Doing Chadwick Boseman. I hate you so much.
Because I can say names right?
Yes, exactly. Doing Chadwick Boseman movies in honor of his performance as Black Panther. Since the sequel's coming out, we talked about comic book movies enough. We did that today. Today's Sunday. We're filming on Sunday, but the video's up now about the MCU sequels. So we're talking about him and his life and his career. So he'll tell you about the top 5 and how we do it, and then I'll jump in and start.
He's going to start with his 5 and 4. I'll give my 5 and 4, 3, 2, 3, 2. Then we trade off number ones. We also have something called the Zemeckis rule, which just means if we both have the same movie on our list, but one person has it 2 spots or higher, we only talk about it once.
Number 5 for me. Well, it's actually not 5. It's 42.
That's your number 5.
Yes.
Zemeckis.
Inconceivable. Hold. See, now, like, he done passed away. Now I look bad because I hard take disagree with that. I don't think it's a hard take. I disagree with that so fucking much. Get up on it. James Brown biopic's my number 4. Because this is the one you haven't seen.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen 21 Bridges, so I guess that must be yours. Spoiler alert. I grew up on James Brown music. Mama Wang. Love James Brown. Very charismatic. Watch that bug shot. That's what I think of when I think of this movie, because it starts off
James Brown,
where he's got the shotgun in the place shooting, and the craziness that was.
Yeah.
And his life story, very good life story, very good plot. The acting is great because you gotta be this fucking Energizer bunny of a man.
Mm-hmm.
And the sweating, and you gotta make sure the wig looks right, and the clothes and everything. You gotta actually wear that. Make sure the clothes don't wear you. Chadwick nails all that. The story just doesn't balances enough on the conflicts of his life, because he doesn't really have conflicts in his life. He has problems, but he wasn't like a very emotionally healthy man and just, hey, I need to stop and deal with this. Who gives a fuck? Move on to the next thing. And now you're in jail because you were shooting a shotgun inside of a fucking office building that you own. So the story, like, if you're gonna make a biopic about someone, would not have been my first choice.
Sure.
But
What would have been?
what would have been?
Yeah.
Groucho Marx.
Huh. Okay.
You ever heard about that?
No.
His fucking wife, like, because he always married younger because he was a dog. So his wife's like 30 years younger than he is. He's like 80. And like, she like kept him in the house, wouldn't let his kids see him, and took all his fucking money.
Huh.
Craziness.
Gold digger.
One of the greatest comedians of all time got fucking
Yeah.
shafted like that. Anyways, that's my number 4.
Sorry, I was thinking about Groucho Marx. Yeah, my number 5 is 21 Bridges. Yeah, it's like an interesting concept.
What does he play in that movie?
That would never happen.
What does he play in that movie?
Like, what is the character?
Yeah,
He's
his
a
job.
cop.
Hey, hi!
Yeah, I hate you.
I found that clip.
But anyways, I always found this role to be really interesting because this movie came out kind of like peak, like hate cop times.
Black and Blue did too. I remember that came out the same year.
So yeah, and then Body Cam came out too. Do you remember that? That
No.
looked terrible.
No.
Black and Blue did not look good either. But it's like, Black and Blue, who was in that? Exactly. Right? This is Chadwick Boseman, and he's in a movie about hunting down a cop killer.
The Russo brothers did that too, didn't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, a movie that came out at a time where it was like not trendy. So I just kind of like always thought that was really interesting, that he chose to do this role. He's really good in it. He's doing Chadwick Boseman things. The movie itself, a little choppy. It got Russo'd up a little bit in like a bad way. Obviously, they've done some incredible things. But yeah, really interesting concept. Decently well-made movie.
Would you say they made a good movie outside of the MCU?
The Russos? I'd have to pull their IMDb up. I don't know if
Because The Gray Man was not it.
Yeah, The Gray Man was definitely not it. And then number 4 for me. Wait. This is interesting for me. So number 4 for me is just Black Panther. Period.
Number 4?
Yeah.
Zemeckis.
Yeah. See, that doesn't make any sense to me. But I guess we'll talk about it a little bit.
We'll talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3 for me is The Five Bloods.
That is my number 2.
To me, this is one of those performances that I feel like if it wasn't on Netflix, it would get talked about more. Because you got a Spike Lee directed movie. and you got Chadwick
Boseman.
Boseman. I'm never going to get that right. Chadwick Boseman in this movie for 10 to 15 minutes.
Maybe total, yeah. Flashbacks and
taking every scene and making it his.
Mm-hmm.
The charisma, how he felt like he was from that era and everything, just stole every scene to the point where it was like, go back to him.
Yeah.
First time I watched that movie, I was like, I don't give a fuck these motherfuckers shooting at a temple. Go back to that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see that. And I think it would be up there with those movies like Beetlejuice, Silence of the Lambs, where it's like that character took every second of their short runtime they had on screen and absolutely killed it. Made it their own, etc. So because of that, having the best scene, the best part of that movie being every part with him, was my number 3.
Yeah. Like I said, it's my number 2. I totally get, like, he doesn't have a ton of screen time in it, but I agree with everything that you said. And I'm not sure if this is like, I guess it's worth mentioning. This movie did actually get a lot of attention when it came out. It got Oscar nominations. Like, it was...
But it's forgettable on Netflix.
I think it's forgettable, period. I didn't like the movie that much. But to your point, so I don't know if this is because I didn't like the rest of the movie that much, or if it's just because he was that good, or maybe it's both. But you made the point of every time that he was on screen, you're like, I want more of that, right? That's how I felt the whole movie. Like we watched the trailer for it. The trailer focused pretty heavily on him. Like, the trailer was like kind of 50-50 on like the flashback stuff and like what it was actually going on.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I expected the movie to be, but I could have watched a whole movie of Chadwick Boseman just like leading this group of guys through Vietnam and like figuring stuff out. He is so entertaining to watch in this movie, and because he is like such a showstopper, and because he is the part of that movie that I want more and more of, that's why I made him number 2.
Like, not to as a big extent, because I don't think it's nearly as good, either part, but it reminded me of Godfather Part 2, where it was like, bro, De Niro's flashbacks knocks Pacino's way out the water.
Sure, yeah.
And that's how I felt about this.
Yeah.
That was my number 3. My number 2 was Black Panther. Is it an average role in the MCU? Yes. But the importance of that character and how he fit the role so well and played against Killmonger and the relationships built in that movie, I think just because it's an average MCU performance, which makes it a good performance, I think it deserves number 2 because of the impact of it. Like, not to me or you, but to the black community, this was special to them. And we went to go see it. And I remember we pulled up. I remember like I was probably late. So, found you in the lobby, whatever. And I was like, bro, one of us said it. I don't remember which one. I remember we took notice and was like, there was more cars out there than there was for that Star Wars movie. Or rivaled it. That side parking lot of the AMC was never filled up. It was only filled up for 2 things. Star Wars and Black Panther.
Yeah.
And that was huge because we went there once a week. We might have been there twice on Friday watching movies back to back, whatever, right? And that theater experience and just hearing other people talk about it, like, I can never understand the importance that Black Panther had on someone. But when they hear it, it gives me goosebumps for someone talking about how much they loved a movie in cinema. And I can understand that. So to me, the importance factor of this movie is huge. But the performance is not good enough to be my number 1, I don't think.
Yeah. I agree with everything you just said. When making my list, I just don't consider like that impact part because I'm just looking at the performance itself. It's not to say it's not important. It's not to say it's not impactful. But like, what kind of acting chops did it take from Chadwick Boseman to do this? And I'm not saying it took zero because there are plenty of other people you could have put in that role, and it would have just let me finish fucking talking. There are plenty of other people you could have put in that role, and it would have been a disaster. Is what I was gonna say, Mister. Jump the fucking gun.
I jumped it.
Okay, there are like you could have switched him and Michael B. Jordan, and I think it would have been just as good. Like, I'm glad they didn't because if Michael B. Jordan was tied up on that, then we probably wouldn't have gotten Creed. But, yeah, it's really good. He did good. He did exactly what he needs to in that role. He nailed exactly what he was supposed to do to be Black Panther, and I'm glad that his face is on all of it. But I just care more about like the specific like performance chops that it took to do it than I care about the impact itself.
Okay, and we go talk about this with your number 2. I'm assuming, or number 1. Where you got Jackie at?
What's number 3?
Number 3. Okay. So, I watched 42, and that's my number 5. Because I didn't watch 21 Bridges, so it might have been a toss-up. I probably would have went with this anyways.
Yeah, you would have.
But when I watched it, I was like, man, that's a really good Disney movie that just ended on a very unclimatic. Like, the level of tension in this movie is meager because they rely so heavy on racism and that fact for investment. And I'm not saying it's cheap, but it worked very easy. And you didn't have to... I'm glad they did, because it would have been like Remember the Titans. That's what this movie reminds me of.
Yeah,
Remember the Titans.
Yeah, you know, like vibes and stuff like that. I get that.
Very
for sure.
straightforward, in your face. I'm glad they added the bit of tension that Jackie Robertson had in himself, where he felt like he was a pawn, he felt like he was being used, and he didn't see the bigger picture at the time.
Yeah.
Or he didn't want to be taken advantage of. He didn't want to feel like a sucker. However he felt. They didn't describe it that good in the movie. But when they're on the ball field and Harrison Ford's like, hey, you're going to be a Dodger. No, what is it? You're going to play for Montreal. Jackie lights up. He's like, walks to the back, turns around. Ricky, why did you have me? Why'd you bring me up? I like money. Word. And then he gets stomped. He's getting stitches in the back of his leg. That insecurity is still in there, but they don't play it up until then. And then the insecurity hits all at once again. Like, oh, we gotta hit this again. For no, like, there's no build up to it. There's no moment where he's looking around like, why am I here? I felt like until that scene, and he was like, really, why am I here? And he told him the real reason. And it was like, all right, it made this relationship feel more impactful. And then you don't get any more scenes with them together. And it was like, damn, thanks.
Yeah. I don't disagree with any of that. But all of that is like...
I wanted more.
Yeah. But all of that is like script issues. Right? So like...
But I mean, you take the script and give it to the actors, and they only have so much to work with. So in this case, Jackie Robertson, I'm angry at racism. Jackie Robertson, I'm happy because my wife is having a baby. I'm happy I'm a Dodger. I'm happy. I'm confused about why I'm here. The only real good acting in that movie is the tunnel scene with him and Harrison Ford, and he breaks the bat. Because it shows anger, it shows sadness, it shows insecurity, and then he hits it with a bit of comedy, which fits for the moment. where he breaks his bat up. He's crying. He's telling Harrison Ford, I feel this way and that way and this way. And Harrison Ford gives a pep talk. You see that show of respect. And he says, Ricky, I need a new bat. It is like, all right, let's get back to baseball, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think you're missing some of the acting in like the directing and script issues.
Maybe I am. I didn't see it.
So I think he's really good in this movie. I think there's a reason that like, not that I'm a huge fan of them. I used to be a huge fan of them, especially back in my early 20s. I know people are still huge fans of them. But if you go on YouTube and you watch like top 10 of these lists,
Watch Mojo?
From like, yeah, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
But not just Watch Mojo. Like, there's like a ton of best biopics, best performances of biopics. He pops up for his portrayal in Jackie Robinson in a lot of them. Like, almost all of them. You don't watch this stuff.
Gross.
You don't watch this
No,
stuff.
I'm not saying. I'm like, that's a bad take on them. They're playing it safe.
I don't think they're playing it safe. I agree with them. As long as it is like...
It was on your top 5 biopics.
Huh?
It was on your top 5 biopics we did a month ago.
Yeah, because it shouldn't be. But I'm not doing top 5 biopics. I'm doing top 5 Chadwick Boseman performances. So, I think he's pretty good in it. This is my number 3.
I like Go Out. There we go.
But then my number 2 was Defy Blood, so...
My number 1, I'm assuming is your number 1, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Yeah, he's so good in the movie. Yeah.
He puts on a fucking acting clinic. And you have 4 other people in the band? 3 other people in the band? Not including Ma Rainey?
Yeah. Well, so there's the 2 older guys, and then like the 1 other younger guy.
Okay, so there's 3.
Mm-hmm.
So you get 3 relationships you get to play off of where he can be cocky, he can show arrogance. You get the manager where he shows he's a kiss ass a little bit, but he's determined, he has that hunger. And then you have Ma Rainey, which is a totally different relationship and how they act between one another. But that's where the tension lies. It escalates, and that tension overflows to the band. So you get so much acting chops with Chadwick in this performance. And it's also relatable because at one point in everyone's life, there's something they're hungry about, they're passionate about, that they want that fucking bad, that they can relate to him. If you lived enough life. Me, I only had one of those things. You probably have 1 or 2 of those things where you want something so fucking bad and it's right there and you feel like people are holding you back. And that acting, that I felt that performance when I watched it at the time. And because of that, I think it's its most impactful performance, not including the layers, but how you can feel it off the screen and relate to it.
Yeah. I think he just does an incredible job of conveying like every emotion that he is trying to portray in that movie. And also just like the character itself, like the cockiness, like the headstrongness, but like the insecurity that is very clearly behind it, the something to prove aspect of it, like all of that just oozes out of him. You don't have to guess, you don't have to try to figure out what his intentions are, and not because he's just spelling it out to you with dialogue, because you could just watch the character and it makes perfect sense. And like to your point about the relatability, like I think there is relatability in what he goes through, even getting even more specific, like his whole because we were talking the other day, if we had started this YouTube channel 4 years earlier, probably in a completely different spot, because
for sure,
by the time that like it really got the ball rolling, very like oversaturated market, movies were on the downslope, all that good stuff, blah blah blah. His main reason that like the dude he's trying to show his music to in the movie doesn't want to do it is because people aren't listening to this anymore. People want this wholesome gospel shit, blah blah blah. And it's like
gospel shit.
Yeah, well,
what a way to say it.
I mean, it is what it is.
You get 3 Hail Marys.
Yeah, so it's like it's not even just like it's not that he's not talented even. It's just literally like you just missed you were born 5 years too late. You're born 5 years earlier, you have the same talent, like you're in. But it's just not how it worked out. And then when the movie hits its climax and like shit hits the fan, Like, the way he just goes through all the feelings that he's feeling through that as well are just incredible. So, that's a good-ass movie.
Just another one I wish that Criterion would buy. Something I would love to own. Because I could find it easier on my shelf than I would do on Netflix. But definitely an actor. I think we both agree on an actor that passed away way too soon.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, so much stuff I would love to see him in, but that's our top 5 Chadwick
Boseman
movies. But it had me thinking, a movie I would love him to be in, and you can make this about anyone. Like, you can come up with a character, or you could base it on someone. But to be a wrestler in the 70s into the 80s, I think that would have been good. Because that drive, that talent, that like, I want to be on top. Oh, like, I don't like your attitude. Send you to another promoter. And then like getting like a character based on Dusty Rhodes in Florida. I was like, all right, this is this money right here. Because like that's how it was. Like there's not many black wrestlers back in the day.
Yeah.
And the ones that are popular and got over, well, you were a bad guy until you got to a town where there was a territory where there was like a large amount of black community.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like, all right, like New York, what was now known as WWE was WWF, Vince McMahon Sr. You know why Bruno Sammartino was the world champion?
It's too many W's. But go ahead.
Because Bruno Sammartino was fucking Italian. And then you lose it to the foreign bad guy, so he gives it up to fucking Mad Dog Vachon, who's a fucking Russian. Oh, we're Americans. We don't like them Russians. And then guess who?
It's true.
Guess who he loses the title to?
An Italian.
Pedro Morales. You know why? A lot of Spanish people like wrestling. Vince McMahon Sr.'s like, I see this. If he's on top, we can make more money in this section.
Yeah.
So that's how it worked. And you want to pack out Madison Square Garden, that's how you do it. So like,
so what you're saying is that Vince McMahon understood the importance of representation
senior
in entertainment sooner than we did.
I think it's more of using people. It could be like the Jackie Robinson story.
I'm not saying he did it
but
for the people, but he understood that if you put someone from a different people group can relate to in the top spot, it means something to them.
Because like Bruno had title runs to go for like 1,000 days, Pedro 1,000 days, 2,000 days. Like they were on top for a long time. But then you look at somewhere like Memphis, where it's just like, I don't know if you were Jerry the King Lawler. You remember the commentator? No, of course not. That guy. Oh, you're black? You're a bad guy. You're in Memphis, Tennessee. Those white people are booing you just because the color of your skin.
Mm-hmm.
So then you have to play it up to be a black guy. Or not a black guy, a bad guy. But like later on in Smoky Mountain Wrestling, this is a fucking great promo. Because obviously, Smoky Mountain Wrestling, again, Kentucky, racist as fuck. Guy named New Jack. I showed you some New Jack stuff. Crazy motherfucker. Flying off things. Yeah, the documentary about him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's where he started out, Smoky Mountain Wrestling. And he was like, because he was black, no other reason. So we're just going to make you stereotype. Not even really stereotype. He was just like, you know what? You just be yourself. So he listens to hip hop, things like that. But he went out there after the OJ thing and was like, and to my homeboy OJ Simpson, good job. There's 2 less of them.
Woof.
In Memphis, Tennessee. Like, racist ass Memphis, Tennessee. So, like, if you put in the right territory, obviously they'll get over huge, but they'll never be the champion. And I think if you have an amazing actor in a territory days era movie, and his one goal is become champion, but he can't reach that because of the color of his skin, but he's drawing all this money in this territory because it has a big black community, I think that would be a fantastic movie. It reminds me a lot of the Grease Lightning, Richard Pryor biopic about the first black race car driver. Same thing. It's Jackie Robertson, kind of 42, but nonetheless, if I could pick one movie to have him in before he passes, it would be like that.
Yeah.
because I love wrestling and I love movies.
There you go.
But anything else?
I got nothing.
Well, that's not topical. You tell us what you want us to talk about next week. Movies are not movie related, but see you next week.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.